Alright guys, Simon here. We're doing our game design analysis of Braid, and we are in the attic. And I mean, looking back, I'll be honest, I didn't do that much game design analysis. I guess I talked about a lot of things, but in the end, even after all the things I've said, can I make a game like this? Not even the programming, but just design the puzzles? I'm not sure. Like, it's so complex. Maybe I can. Maybe I can design them. I think maybe testing is important, but how do you test this? Because here's the problem with testing a puzzle game. You give it to a person, they play it for the first time, they tell you the experience of it. Right, okay, you learn something new, you might improve the game, and so you go away, make the game a little better. If you show it to the same person again, they'll be solving the same puzzles that they've solved before. So they already know how to beat the game. You can't test the puzzle on that guy again because he's already solved it. You don't know what it would be like for a new player, so you need to find a new person who's interested in puzzle games and test the puzzles on a new guy, and then maybe he'll give you some feedback. And okay, you go away, you fix the game, make it a bit better, and then you can't show it to him again because he's already solved this puzzle before. If you give it to him again, he'll just play it and say, oh, but I've played it before. You know, it's not... The experience is different with puzzle games, so every time you play it, you get better at it. And so, if you want to balance the difficulty of a puzzle game, you basically need a lot of different people to test the game on. So it's actually... The process itself is difficult, and if you don't test it at all, if you're just designing it yourself, the thing is, when you design your own puzzles, you become so familiar with the puzzles that you might just make it ridiculously hard, or you just leave out important facts, like important information, because you already know it in your head, and you don't realize that you forgot to put it into the game. And so that when someone else plays your game, they don't know what you know, and they're just hitting a brick wall, kind of like what I did with the very last puzzle with the ring. And then, you know, you're not actually realizing what the problems with the game are because you know it too well. So, I mean, I don't know how to... I don't think there's any easy way to overcome that difficulty of designing puzzles other than just to have a lot of different people test your game for you. Which is not easy in itself. Although these days with the internet, maybe it is a bit easier to do that. Alright, let's go into the attic. I don't remember if... Like, there's 4 doors there, but only... Unless, like, unlike the earlier ones, the very last one opens, and this is number 1, so this is chapter 1. Remember we started the game with 2, and then 3, 4, 5, and 6, and now it's 1. So we go into the first chapter last. Let's see what the books say. At a cafe on a bright plaza, most customers sit back, feeling the warmth of the sun, enjoying their cold drinks. But not Tim. He barely notices the sun, doesn't really taste his coffee. For him, this corner affords a good view of the city, and in the teeterings of the passers-by, in the arc of a shopgirl's hand, as she displays tea to an interested gentleman, Tim hopes to see clues. Wait, Tim? Did we know his name was Tim before now? I'm not sure. This is in third person. I don't remember if we know his name was Tim before. That night at the cinema, fictitious adventurers lunge implausibly across the screen. The audience here is mixed. Some are patrons of the cafe, now sitting excitedly in the plush chairs, eagerly waiting, eager for another new flavor, for distraction from the boredom of from their easy lives. Other seats hold fishermen and farm workers hoping to forget their toils and rest their hands. I completely botched that one, sorry. Tim is here too, but he is scrutinizing the gloss on the lips on the screen, measuring the angle of the plume of a distant helicopter crash. He thinks he discerns a message. When the cinema closes and most of the audience strolls down the plaza to the south, Tim goes north. Is he autistic? I don't. I'm not a you know, psychiatrist or psychologist. I don't know. But when you notice details like that, is like you're thinking differently, aren't you? And like when you think there's a message in the plume of a distant helicopter crash, that's thinking differently, right? People like Tim seem to live oppositely from the other residents of the city, tied and riptide, flowing against each other. Yeah, so he's different. Tim wants, like nothing else, to find the princess, to know her at last. For Tim this would be momentous, sparking an intense light that embraces the world. A light that reveals the secrets long kept from us, that illuminates, or materializes, a final palace where we can exist in peace. And I'm not gonna reveal the story that's not being told in this game. There is another story that's not being told in this game, and if you look it up on the internet, you'll find out about it. But the words here, find the princess. For Tim this would be momentous, sparking an intense light that embraces the world. A light that reveals the secrets long kept from us, that illuminates, or materializes. A final palace where we can exist in peace. That's a hint. Well, not really a hint, because it doesn't really... I mean, even if you wouldn't know what that means. But that comes from that other story, which I'm not telling. But how would this be perceived by the other residents of the city, in the world that flows contrary rise? The light would be intense and warm at the beginning, but then flicker down to nothing, taking the castle with it. It would be like burning down the place we've always called home, where we played so innocently as children, destroying all hope of safety forever. So this is not the same story as the 5 previous chapters. He's kind of sitting around the city with other people, but he's thinking of something else, and he's thinking of light. And notice how these books are arranged so that this is, separate from the other two. So this is about the cafe, these two are about the cinema, so they're closer together. This is about him saying that he's different, and then this is about his thoughts. Like even the placement of the books indicate which parts of the story belong together and so on. A flower. Wait. Are things moving backwards? Things are moving backwards. Oh, and the flower is shrinking. Things are moving backwards by themselves. What is going on? Am I gonna get a guy coming up here or not? Okay, so I'm not getting a guy up there. How does that help? Wow, really? Oh, fail. Come back. No, come back. Never mind, never mind. Let's just... Wow. Alright, we can do this. Okay, we can't do this. How does it even work? How does it even work? This does not make sense, even if time really was going backwards. The creatures only come out of the right cannon. If they do— oh wow, I don't— what? Look, if we play time forward, they walk out of the left cannon and die. But if a creature miraculously appear on the ground, then it must be from the right cannon. Does it even make sense? I mean, we're changing the past basically when we affect the world like this. I don't even know how this works. This is the same puzzle except— oh, the ladder's gone. Okay, so this is what I did last time. Basically, I have to bounce on his head to get up there. Ow. I can do this forever. Okay, never mind, I can't do this forever. I need to do this differently, don't I? Oh, wow. I don't know how to get up there. Yes. Look at the background, what's going on? There's volcanoes? Storms? Oh, storms and lightning. I think the music just glitched. But yeah, storms and lightning.